What's up, YouTube? Now, if you've been playing the brilliant game The Garten of Banban by the Euphoric brothers, then you will probably want to stick around, because for today's video I'm going to be looking at one of the Euphoric brothers' earliest games, Egghead Gumpty.
You're in. Good. Good. You do understand that by continuing inside, you'd probably be putting your life at risk. For your knowledge, the money I'm paying you will not include treatment for any damage you will sustain. Now, you've seen pictures of her, and you know what she looks like. So go get my daughter.
So, from what I can gather from that ridiculous Star Wars level dialogue, and don't hate me too much, Star Wars fans, it's a great franchise, but they did bring out classic lines like this.
Of him killing younglings.
Not Anakin.
Well, who could forget this?
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Right, back to the topic at hand. We're going to need 10 keys from the blue presents to open the purple door that is just going to spawn randomly somewhere on this level. The black presents are going to give us lockpicks so we can open doors quietly, and the green presents are going to give us batteries for our torch, and that is the only weapon we have to fight against a demonic egg. So far, pretty straightforward, and we start the game with a couple of presents right here. Isn't that thoughtful? A quick look down and we can see we actually have a body, which isn't exactly a given with games like these, and is actually a welcome change. But the only thing we find out about our character is what kind of shoes he wears. Right, so our first door, and why bother with a lockpick when we can just high kick the door and let everyone know where we are? Oh, hang on, there's an open door just there, so I'll probably be better going through that first. The levels are randomly generated, so there's no real pattern to follow, so you can get caught quite easily, and let's be honest, it happens a lot. Now, as far as I can find out, this game only came out on the 5th of September last year, so it's only 5 months old. It is available on Steam for a very reasonable price of £3.99, that's English pounds. And after the success of the brilliant Garten of Banban, I think a few more people are definitely going to be giving it a look. The game's got a pretty solid design, the music and the mechanics with the torch do help build up the suspense. But as far as the story goes, we don't have a lot to go on. We know it's a juvenile facility, and we are being paid to find somebody's daughter, but other than that we don't really find out what's going on. Hopefully, if the Euphoric brothers can peel themselves away from the Garten of Banban for a bit, we might even get a chapter 2. Now, God knows what this thing is. Its name in the credits is just called the foetus, which is actually disgusting, but weirdly accurate. To me, he looks like Tyrion from Game of Thrones in a meat-coloured gimp suit. And to defeat them, we just have to switch between our normal torch and our UV torch until they decide they've had enough. Now, for the main character, old Mr. Gumpty, which is probably a reference to Humpty Dumpty. Now, he's definitely no Huggy Wuggy or a peeler bird, but it is creepy the way he chases you with multiple legs coming out of his mouth. But to be honest, he's slower than my nan trying to tie her shoelaces.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
These pink presents are little bonuses, and most contain recordings from a Dr. Carter Green, who seemingly did nothing but make recordings by the amount there seems to be.
This is tape log number 32, recorded and produced by Dr. Carter Green as selectively instructed by the ministry. New locks are yet to be ordered, and everyone here is awaiting your approval patiently. Even worse, there has been a new disturbing trend circulating around the facility. Just as frequently as staff are able to find handmade keys, they are able to find drawings and illustrations of this oval with legs that looks almost like an egg. All inmates that have been asked about it refuse to give any answer, and this phenomenon is present through all units and sections of the facility. If a riot of some sort is on the way, we will be ready. But please, approve the new lock installments.
Some recordings do give us a few clues as to what happened in the facility, but most leave us with more questions than answers. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, otherwise we could be here quite some time. The most difficult thing about this game is trying to find where old Egghead is looking at you from. It could be through a doorway or in the ceiling, it might even be in a gap in the floor. Some of the levels are darker than others, and the colour schemes can make it harder still. But they are totally random, you have no choice whatsoever, you just have to click start and pray for the best. Finding the presents isn't exactly an easy task either. The only real references are the paintings that can be found on the walls. But it's quite easy to get lost, especially when you have to run from a 6-foot egg that's trying to eat you. For a relatively cheap game on Steam, you could easily spend a few hours trying to get the purple door unlocked. Is it as good as the Garten of Banban? I don't think so. Could the games even be connected? Maybe. If this is a juvenile facility and Banban takes place in a kindergarten, then I suppose they could be owned by the same company. It could even be the same things bringing these creatures to life. We're just going to have to wait and see if we get any Egghead Gumpty references in the Garten of Banban Chapter 2. Now, the egg does turn up a bit more frequently as we get closer to the number of keys we need for the purple door. You can also use the keys to unlock the normal doors, but considering how hard they are to find, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, if you listen carefully, you do get a bit of a warning from the music before the egg starts to chase you, but all you have to do is run away. Don't try and dodge it or shuffle past it, just run. It won't take long before it gives up and you can carry on looking for presents. Just one more key and then I can go and try and find the purple door. The levels are pretty much giant mazes, so it is quite easy to spend a lot of time looking in places you have already looked at before. Like I said, try and keep an eye on the paintings so you know which rooms you've already been in. Here he is again, getting pretty desperate now. You don't want to go too close to him, just stand back and hit him with the UV torch. And there it is, the last key I need. So now I just need to go and find the purple door. Where the maps change colours is usually a hint towards where the purple room is, so it shouldn't be far away now. And here it is. Let's have a look and see what's inside.
Oh, hello. You've arrived a little earlier than I expected. Good for you. I don't recognize you, but I know exactly what you're doing here. Nothing stays secret in these halls, you see? I have ears everywhere, literally. It came to my attention that my father has sent someone into this place to look for me. Sounds exactly like something he'd do. He's a good man, but he shouldn't have done what he'd done. It's a waste of time and money and probably your life. This might not be what I had in mind when I first wished to see my child alive and breathing, but if this is what it takes, then I am content. The same child that would have been on the outside, running and playing with other kids, had his mother been treated like something more than an ill pig. I don't like to dwell in the past. What's done is done, and what matters now is what's next. My baby cannot leave this place, and so I cannot leave either. And what kind of mother would leave her baby behind? I'll tell you, certainly not me. I suppose my father's going to have to wait a little longer until he hears from me, because you're not leaving either. I'm not buying the claim that you're here to save me in pursuit of the money that you were promised, because I'm sure it's not worth witnessing the things you've seen in here. No, you seek something more, and I believe that something is fame. Should it happen that we both leave together, you'd be the first person to ever enter and then leave Polbro in one piece since the incident, with a missing Polbro inmate in hand, no less. You deserve to be among the people that these halls were made for. My best friend will gladly add you to their collection. But let's place you somewhere different this time. How about the second floor of this wretched institution? I think you'll fit there perfectly. The second floor, reserved for the worst of the worst. I'm sure you'll have a lot more to say to the journalists after you go through there. Goodbye.
Well, she had the laziest eyes I've ever seen. But at least she had her COVID mask on. Let me know what you think about Egghead Gumpty in the comments, and please remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more horror game videos.